All right, I'm going to show you how to create a group for your classroom if you would like to share documents in Google Drive with your students and make it easier so you don't have to type every one of your students in. So when you're in your email or logged into Google, click on the waffle icon up on the top right, your options for the apps. And you are going to find the icon for groups. It may not be on the first one, you may have to click more, but you'll find the groups app. And once you open that up, you are going to create a group. And now you need to give it a group name. And so this group name, whatever you want to name it. So right now I'm going to create a group for Miss Davis's class. And so I'm going to do Davis 2015. And so she knows it is her, class from 2015. Now, automatically as I type it in, it's going to give me the email address down here. So Davis-2015, and then it's going to have that -personal at aldinisd.org. And once you do that, then you want to check a couple of your sharing permissions down here at the bottom, and you just want to make sure that the people who are in this group. Now your students aren't going to be able to do a lot of the options that they have down here because your students only have access to Google Drive pretty much. So it doesn't matter for your students, but just if you want to, share this with any of the other teachers so that they can send it, make sure that it says email list because, like I said, you're not going to be able to use any of the other options that are there. And you want all members to be able to view topics and to post to it because other teachers won't be able to email it if they are not allowed to post to it. And then join the group. This one you're going to want to do only invited users because you don't want other people to be able to join this group. And so once you've done that, you're going to click create. And all right, so you've created your group, and so now you're going to invite people to join the group. Now, what we need to do, instead of just invite, because when you do invite members, it's going to send them an email and ask them if they want to join the group. Well, your students do not have access to email, so they cannot find that email to join the group. So we need to go to direct add over here on the side, and you click on that direct add members. Now it's going to give you this message up at the top saying please be careful when you're using this because it doesn't want you to add people that don't want to be in a group. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over my spreadsheet here that I have all of Miss Davis's student email addresses in. And so I'm just going to take and highlight all of the email addresses. I'm going to right click and copy. And now I'm going to go back to my page here and I'm going to paste all of the email addresses. And so now I have all of those email addresses. And now it says I need to separate with a comma, so I just need to make sure I add my comma at the end of each of the email addresses. And I think if I leave it at each line, it'll work anyway. So let me try it that way. You don't have to go through and add those commas at the end of each one then. And so I click add. And so now it says 15 people were added to the group, so I can click show. And so now it shows me all of those people who are in that group. And so now if I click back on all members, it's going to show me those members. So now it's going to show that I'm the owner, or if you create it, it'll show that you are the owner of that group. And so then that way, when an email is sent to that group, you will get that email as well. So that's the only thing, when you're creating that group email, you are going to be a part of that. All right, and now here I see this one, it says bouncing. So that is meaning that it's bouncing back. It's not the correct email. So I'm going to have to double check that email address. And so this way, that way you can double check to make sure you have the correct email address for that student. And, so here it says posting not allowed. Well, those students don't have access to posting, so it doesn't really matter anyway. So now that you've done this, your email group is created. And so now I can go to my inbox, and well, now I won't be able to send an email to them, but if I go to my drive, and so if I click here and go to drive, and I'm going to create a new document. And now today, Ms. Davis said they're going to be working on Texas symbols, so I'm going to create a document for Texas symbols. And I'll give it a title. Now, what I need to do to share this with that class is I click share, and I start typing in Davis 2015 personal at aldingisd.org. And now, if you want them to have access to edit that, to comment or view. Now, I just want them to view this document because I'm going to put a link in here for them to click, and that's all I want them to do. I don't want them to delete that link or anything like that. And so now I click send. And now that document was shared with Miss Davis's class, and so all of her students will see that when they log into their Google Drive and go to shared with me. So if you have any more questions about creating a group and sharing with your group, let me know, but this should get you started.